Joining us now is retired U.S. Navy Rear Admiral Mark Montgomery and Senior Director at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. Great to have you, sir. Thank you for being here. So we saw this massive display of military might last night on the U.S.'s side, the unity here in the U.S. too. How do you expect the president will leverage that this week in dealings at the NATO Summit?
Yeah, I think he has a great opportunity. It's been a chaotic year between the U.S. and NATO, whether it's kind of threatening Greenland, the divestments from Ukraine, the war in Iran. But as Hannah said, our allies promised more defense spending, and we're seeing some of it. Germany, particularly, Poland and the Baltics as well. Even Italy, you're seeing good increases. There are some laggards, and the president will get at them. He can get a couple things out of this. I think he can get more support from NATO on Iran. Some kind of indication that freedom of the navigation of Strait of Hormuz is something that must happen. Maybe some commitments of minesweepers to support that. He could get that, and then I think he has an opportunity here to kind of flip the script on Russia and Ukraine and begin to hold Russia accountable. President Trump likes winners, and President Zelensky is looking more like a winner these days. So you could see movement on Iran. You could see movement on Ukraine.
Right. And I do want to ask you about Ukraine. But sticking with Iran for now, we're working on this diplomatic route, as you know. Do you believe ultimately that U.S. military intervention will be needed to get what the U.S. wants?
So I think for the next 6 months through the election, you're going to see Iran is happy to rope-a-dope negotiations. That's their natural state, is to take their time, delay. I think you'll see the president not push too hard because he would use several 60-day extensions, get this through November, December. That gives the United States military a chance to rearm a little bit, which would be helpful with defensive munitions, but also to improve our counter-drone capabilities, maybe getting technology from Ukraine. And giving those to our Arab partners as well. Once you have that set, if necessary, the president can then use a much stronger threat to Iran in January, February of next year to either get a better deal or impose his will on the battlefield.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to ask you next. If he is weighing the realities of the midterms, the markets as well, what would your expected timeline be for potentially going in there with U.S. military force again? And what would be the goal also of that operation?
So we'll have to see what Iran actually says about enriched uranium and the status of the 440 kilos of enriched uranium they had before the 12-day war last year. And so we'll have to see what their agreements are there. If they're actually making movement there, maybe the president will try serious negotiations with a strong threat behind him in January, February. But if he doesn't see that, then I think at that point he goes in and probably, his two goals there would be to further reduce their ballistic missile capacity, but most importantly, to knock out all the tools they have to threaten the Strait of Hormuz. It's hard. They're so geographically close that you really have to eliminate nearly everything they have in the Bandar Abbas and Strait of Hormuz area. But that's where I focus my targeting if I had to go back in for full-scale combat operations.
Understood. So the president, as we've reported, he is expected to meet with the president of Ukraine at this summit. And it does appear, as you stated, Mark, that Ukraine is making some significant gains on the battlefield, that the tide is turning. What is your read on the status of war? And also, do you think there will be meaningful inroads when these leaders sit down in the coming hours?
I spend a few months every year, training the Ukrainian military in operational planning issues. So I have a pretty good sense that they're not going to lose this war on the ground. I think it's been clear for a year that they wouldn't lose. But what you're seeing now is their ability to impose their will on the Russians with medium and long-range strike. And they're really hurting Russia's logistics and command and control. What that means is Putin is really facing a tough position here. If the United States were to bring any pressure on him economically through, sanctions on the shadow fleet, his fossil fuel sales, he would really be in extremis. And if the president lets Putin know that, then I think you're going to see the potential for some kind of negotiated solution. I think he'll have a discussion with Zelensky about that and tell Zelensky not to take actions that would compromise Trump's ability to do that. But if I were Zelensky, I'd continue all actions as is. It's bringing pressure on Russia, and it's giving Putin strategic dilemmas instead of Ukraine.
Retired U.S. Navy Rear Admiral Mark Montgomery, a pleasure, sir, and thank you for your service.
Thank you.